Hello and karibuni tena. I'm your girl Makena, na kama kawaida we bring you inspiration, we bring you entertainment, we bring you educative stories and stories that will uplift you. And today is one of those episodes that I've always been looking forward to because I have one amazing soul, one successful human. What's this guy? He actually is that is something, but he looks like a 19-year-old living a dream of a 50-year-old. You guys, what? He's incredibly amazing, so talented, so creative. Na leo tutajua tu story yake pole pole. So wadau, come with me as we take you through the journey of this amazing guy, and remember to subscribe for these and more great stories. Hi Eugene Mbugua.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad at all. I cannot complain.
You're so humble, by the way. Tuanze na hiyo, by the way. Tuanze na compliments. You are humble. Do you know that?
It depends. I'm expressive, I'll say.
Do you get people who tell you wewe uko na kiburi hivi?
Yeah, quite a number.
For real?
I'm confident, I would say. Humble, I'm not too sure, but confident certainly.
But you really are humble actually.
Asante.
So Eugene, tunataka kupeleka back in time kidogo tu, at least tupate background of how all this came to be, because you're an award-winning guy, yani whatever you touch turns into gold. So able to eleze, where was Eugene brought up?
I grew up in many places, a bunch of towns, from Kitale to Njoro in Nakuru, to Thika, to Donholm, Kasarani, Zimmerman, and then I think those are the places I grew up in. Yeah.
Kuzunguka yote ilikuwa juu ya maybe wazai wame.
I had a bit of a difficult childhood, so it involved moving around quite a bit. Yeah.
Do you mind explaining kidogo?
I don't want to go to that.
You don't want to go to that. Ukasoma, and which high school did you go to maybe?
So I went to two high schools. I went to Upper Hill from 1 to Form 3. Then from 3 to Form 4, I went to a small school called Cardinal Lutonga in Kawaskari. Then after high school, I went to USIU for university, class of 2013. And then I don't think I've gone to class since.
Mbona ulihama lakini mbona ulihama shule? Were you like that naughty boy ama issues zingine?
No, I was just a troubled child all around. There's a lot of stuff happening there. Yeah.
Okay, sawa. So, do you think USIU really impacted your life right now, as you can say?
Yeah, a university education certainly opens up your mind. Because I don't know about how other universities, but for that particular university, what we, at least how I treated it, was you go to learn how to think. And I also really appreciated in my university that I was a part-time student all through uni. So I wouldn't say it was the university alone, it was also just my approach to it. Because I'd go to class between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. And then sometimes on Saturdays. But then on during the day I would work. So the whole time I was in university, I was actually still working. And I also, I would say university taught me how to think. Yeah. So
you were hustling?
I was hustling. I had a bunch of businesses back then. When I was in university, I had a video game arcade where you could come and play PlayStation, Xbox, and we charge you per minute. I was selling those bootleg films, and I just movies a 50 bob. I had that. At some point, I had a tour company that failed. I was still teaching at McKinney School. I was teaching primary school basic film. So yeah, I was working all through university.
Have you always been this business-oriented guy from Ututoni?
No. So my mind came from necessity. I needed to survive. I needed to be able to earn money to live. So I wouldn't say that I was entrepreneurial at birth or during my childhood, but it was an instinct that came naturally because I needed to survive. Yeah.
What did you want to be when you grew up? Ukiwa mdogo, unaona vile zile maswali za what do you want to be when you grow up? A doctor, a nurse, or whatever.
I think at different times I had different things. There's a time I wanted to be a lawyer because I'm argumentative. I love to debate. There's a time I also wanted to be a pilot. And I have a beautiful painting in my house by an artist called Obado, and he's painted. It's a child in wearing what is ideally flying gear, and he's got his palms on his face, and he painted the moment a child realizes that they're too poor to afford to be a pilot. And I know that moment. So I wanted to be a pilot at some point. Then eventually I picked the first opportunity I got, and that's what I stuck with.
So when you tell us that when ukiwa campo you were already doing all these things, where did you acquire your skills from? Because umesema pia you were a teacher at Makini wa film. So where did you acquire your skills from?
Just from doing. So how did I end up teaching in Makini? As soon as I finished high school, even before I had my ID, I was already on a film set because I had a cousin. His name is Kamicha. He was a soundman on some of these TV shows, and so he just dragged me and took me to one of the shows. I think it was Inspector Mola. So I was an extra there. Then I did boom swinging on different sets, Makuta Junction, Machachari, and while doing that, you learn. You hear cut, so you say, okay, that means stop. Action, that means go. So you go on Google and you prepare a short document. And then we went and pitched this to schools. And that was my first camera there that we bought and started. I had a business partner called Dexter. And that's how I've learned a lot of things. You just go in, you're a fool at the beginning, but then after doing it for a while, you know what you're doing now. Yeah.
So at that moment, who was your mentor? Who was helping you out?
I feel like at every point in my life, I've always had someone who has helped me out. I mentioned my cousin Kamicha, who was a soundman, who was the one who allowed me to get into film. I also, at the time, I was working with Dexter, who was my business partner at the time, and he had a bit more experience than I did. As I went along, there's just a bunch of people, some of my classmates who gave me an opportunity. They worked for me for free, and we were able to put out a show. There's a gentleman who was my lecturer. His name was Mr. Mutua. He got me very interested in the structures of storytelling. So all along the way, there's been many people who've held my hand.
Yeah. Oh wow! I can imagine at the age of 22, that's when you said that you held your first million.
I made my first million just before I turned 22.
Wow! How did that happen? Maybe.
So so first of all, I started out as an extra. I did all these odd jobs. Then I started teaching basic film in primary school. But this whole time, I really, really wanted to not climb the ladder but own it. So the whole time I had this TV show ideas, and I had a bunch of them that didn't make any sense. Looking back, they were really stupid, some of them. So I had one, Young Rich, which I had written it down on paper. I had a proposal, and I'd been pitching it everywhere, to almost every major station I could. Most of those guys I wasn't even getting past the door because what have you done? Nothing. You don't have any track record. And so in 2013, which is when I graduated from university, and which I was 22 at the time. I had been pitching Young Rich around for almost 2 years, and then 1 or 2 months just before I graduated, I got some interest from K24, and the show was contracted, and so that's how it started making. The first month I think I earned $1 million, but of course this is revenue; it's not profit. It's once you start paying for the product of the show, you almost have nothing left. Also, for the taxman, revenue, not profit. Yeah.
So how was the reception after Sasa, of course, on my page, and now it's on air? What was the feeling the first time it went on air?
No, that was an amazing, life-changing moment for me because I graduated on a Saturday, and the show Young Rich premiered the Friday before. So I literally watched the premiere of my show on national television and then went and graduated. It was a huge relief because, to be honest with you, had I not achieved this, I don't know what my life would have been like, because you finish school and then what? I was also very close to taking a day job, and I would have been a writer at one of the newspapers. So I'm glad that didn't happen. No, I love writing and I still do to this day. Yeah. But what I do now is more interesting. Yeah. So
besides being a producer, you also write scripts, right?
Not scripts necessarily. Of course, I create all these concepts. Right, but I also write articles for the paper. I write a lot, just journaling and stuff. Like I love to write. Also, a lot of creation is about writing. So I think I would say pretty much easily 30%, 40% of my day is spent writing.
So starting out, ulikuwa na employees wangapi, and then of course right now we've grown. How many employees do you have?
Yeah, so starting out with Young Rich, I was doing a lot of roles. I was the editor, I was the producer, but I think I also had some team members. I had Josh and Barbara and Chris Sang. These were guys who I went to school with and who started out with me. It was a small team. But now we are at DNR TV, because we've rebranded now. We are called DNR Studios. We have a team of close to 40 people now, and that number will very easily be going up to 50 in the next few weeks. Everything from producers to directors to editors to camera people, soundmen, photographers, graphic designers. Yeah, so it's quite a sizable team.
Have you always been focused? Didn't you have that young and stupid moment?
I did. I probably still do.
Yeah. Okay, being 20.
As graphic design. As graphic design.
So they just do like local events versus Kenyans. Kenyans wanapenda ma DJ. Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. For this being a political year, are you going to be around during the political period ama unaondoka kidogo? How soon by there are you leaving Kenya? A lot of people have been asking this by the way.
So I have a show in London next week. next week Saturday, so I have to go to London for about 1 week. I'll be back for another couple of weeks. I have more shows lined up. Ndakuwa Mombasa, nataka nifanye shows zingine hapo. And then I'll by end of February I'll be gone. Alafu nitarudi I guess after elections.
Oh, take kuvote. Shinski.
No. I wish I could. It's just I have more shows in the US and other places, so it's already committed. Yeah. So I have to go back. Yeah.
Okay. Are you a firstborn or a lastborn?
I am number 4. Fourth born.
Okay. Besides DJing, na electrical engineering, what else do you do?
What else do I do?
In your free times as well. Si kitu serious sana.
Free time, I mean, I do watch a lot of movies. Mimi ni mswa Netflix sana. I like movies and stuff. I like traveling. I think pia DJ imesaidia kufanya hobby yangu ya kutravel because I travel a lot. Napenda vitu za I like history. I like reading books. Yeah, and just having different experiences out there. Yeah.
Biggest assumption people have about you?
Biggest assumption is if they haven't seen me, they think I'm a big person. Mimi niko hivi tu. Small and fit.
But the name is big, eh?
Yeah, the name is big, yeah. So, but I'm size slim fit. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your favorite Kenyan dish?
Kenyan dish. Chipo ni Kenyan dish.
By the way, utatuletea uzungu hapa. No. Please come back home.
Napenda chipo. Okay, nyama choma is definitely
traditional, but let me break it down.
Matoke? Yes. Yes.
Aya, sawa Shinski, all the best by the way. Sorry ladies, I forgot to ask for you. Aya, sawa, hata sijasahau. Is Shinski taken? Are you married? Are you seeing someone?
Taken, ladies, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You can slide to his DM for business.
For business purposes, of course. And I reply.
Uta reply, yeah? Aya, sawa Shinski. Anything I should have asked, nimesahau kuuliza. Anything you'd like me to ask you as well? Maybe you have a gig coming up now, nataka kuimarket, so we can make it in form of a question.
When? Next week. So next week.
Anyway, no. Next week Monday, Tuesday.
Next week Monday. So I can just announce story the London, alafu niko na show ya Nyashinski.
That's a good one, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else I should have asked? Kuna kitu nasikia unafikiria imedisappear.
I guess you can say like what mpata wapi.
Of course tutasema so hakuna kitu tumesahau. Anything else besides your, of course I'll ask you what we expecting from you in 2022.
Yes.
2021 tena. I'll ask that one of course.
Okay.
So madam mmesikia, we are sorry. Tears anyway. Shinski, what do we expect? Wait, what does one have to do to get into your mixtapes as an artist?
As an artist, just make sure you send me an email kwa djshinskimusic@gmail.com. I look at all the emails, so tuma tu, I'll review it. Kama ni mzuri, I'll put them on one of my mixtapes. Yeah.
Is there criteria that you use to rule out maybe the music that you're not going to play, ama ile utacheza?
Not really. And when it comes to mixtape, just depends on the genre, the mood, vile nataka ikue. So sina like a set boundaries on how I can mix them. Yeah.
Is there a gig that you've ever declined and why?
Oh yeah, there's some couple of gigs I've declined. Either ni
fantastic work now with our Perfect Wedding. So, but most of our shows are not host driven. But yeah, for the ones that are host driven, I do pick the host rather. But it's in consultation with the team here because we've had some team members here who've worked with us a long time, and they understand the style of work we do. They understand what is required from our shows. So it's done consultatively.
What's your favorite show, by the way?
Yeah.
Sema, oh baby, niko na watoto huwezi chagua but kuna tu ile show you don't mind rewatching and rewatching and rewatching.
I'm a sucker for documentaries, profile documentaries particularly, which is why I even started with Young Rich. So I'll say story yangu sits very close to my heart. Just because of also the diverse personalities we have on there. But I also generally enjoy almost all our shows. I love Soul Family. I love This Love. I enjoy Our Perfect Wedding very much, even though weddings are not necessarily my cup of tea. We've got some new shows coming. One with Betty Charlo and the Sisters, Mercy and Gloria. We've got a comedy show coming. So I would say I love all our shows. Yeah.
And all the ideas yours ama kuna mtoto na coming maybe mwingine anakuambia hey by the way see you can try this out.
So I'm the chief creative at the company, which means like I do generate a lot of the ideas, but what I generate is a very small part of it, because then once I do throw out the format, there's a beautiful team here that then takes it up and makes it come alive. And there you have directors, you have writers, you have producers, you have editors. So I would say coming up with the concept is not necessarily the most important part of the job. It's executing it, and the team that we have here at DNR is very, very good at that bit. Me, I come up and dream stuff, but they're the ones who bring in the magic and make it happen, make it come alive. Yeah.
And Eugene, you inspire a lot of people, especially the young people, right? You're 31, making it so big. So my question is, someone who wants to get in the field, of course atauliza, Eugene akianza ni sawa alipata hiyo million, but where did the capital come from?
Sikuanzia 1 million.
Of course kuanzia, okay.
Yeah, remember by the time I had the show, I was already working in that field for 5 years.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because I started in 2009. 2008 actually. And by the time I got my first show on air was 2013, towards the end. So I'd already been in that field for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So the capital, sasa?
So how to start? Yeah. So capital for me was before I got the first TV show on air. I remember I mentioned I had all these other small businesses. I was selling 50 movies. I had a game kid. I was teaching primary school. So you're saving up money at this point. But also I got two friends to invest in me. So I had two friends, Ken and Muchicho, and they both put in about 150,000 shillings because that's what I needed to start up then. So yeah, use what you have. Start now where you are with what you have. So that would be my advice.
So are you for saving or investing?
I don't think you have to choose either.
No, as in, okay.
Because often you do need to save money because for a rainy day. But that money also, when it sits in your account, is of no use. So you also do need to invest. I feel like that maybe perhaps the approach will be different. I'm all for earning. So whatever it is you're doing needs to earn you money. If it's just money that's sitting in the bank that's not earning you money, so maybe it's not a very good choice. We also have a lot of people who are throwing money, what you call dead capital. You go and buy a piece of land in Kiserian and it's sitting there not earning you any money. So where else that you might think that's an investment, it really isn't, unless it's assets need to earn you money. So I'm for both. You need to both save and invest.
Have you been employed before?
Not formally. I've worked for people. So like as I mentioned, I was a boom singer in all those places. I used to write for The Nation. So I've never been formally employed, but I have worked for people. Yeah.
Do you think that also really helped you in your management skills and all that?
The
employment, like not the formal employment, like you're working mtu mwingine before you start working for yourself and people working under you.
I wouldn't say so much because I also didn't have a very long stint. It was a very short period that I worked for other people. I would say a lot of my experience has come from doing and then getting mentors. So I set up my business very early on. I was looking back and I was realizing, I've been in business for 12 years. It's a crazy long amount of time. So a lot of my experience has come from doing and also from getting mentors because I have a lot of mentors all around. There's Dennis Makori, who's been my mentor for many years. There's Dr. Sam Denya, who's the chairman of my board. I have Carol Ndongo, who works very closely with me. I have Monique Mageria. I have so many people who are around me who are and these are much older people who have much more experience than I do, and I feel like I feed off a lot of their knowledge and who they are. Yep.
Which show surprised you the most, like your own project, that you are like, okay, you're creating it, sawa, but you're having doubts with it, but after release you're like, oh my God, wallahi, I thank God it happened, like I released it.
I think I'm proud of all my shows, to be honest with you.
No, as in, yenye ulikuwa,
yeah,
like
what surprised me.
Yeah, like when I create and you're like, with this one really go far, but it really did well, more than like it surpassed your expectation.
I would say Foods of Kenya. I didn't anticipate that Foods of Kenya would be 2 shows. Foods of Kenya, because it was a very static subject matter, because I remember even the first time we went pitching into one of the stations and they asked, so the show is about what again? Until we are going around the country showing old, like, elders making food and the tradition. I was like, why would I care for this? And then it ended up being a 1-hour show. Initially we started at I think Sunday evening at like 6 p.m. and then it was bumped up to prime time Wednesday at 8 p.m. and it ran that way for 2 years. That was quite a surprise that Kenyans were that hungry for the indigenous knowledge. And then now we have an interesting spin-off of our Perfect Wedding called our 5th anniversary. So our 5th anniversary was also a nice surprise for me. It's done well, but it's also one of those things that I didn't anticipate happening because it's just a product of time. Because we started doing our Perfect Wedding with Maisha Magic 5 years ago, and the first batch of couples that we had 5 years ago are now celebrating their 5th anniversary. So it's a marker of the time that has passed for us as a company, and it's beautiful I'm really fascinated by the passage of time. So it's beautiful to go back and just tell a story about that passage of time. So I'll say those two shows are the ones that have been a bit of a surprise for me. Yeah.
And you had something, you were working with Vera some time back. What really happened?
Nothing has happened. We constantly try out new things. So with Vera, we shot a pilot. We are shooting some stuff, but she had a baby, and she said we had to give her a break for that. So we're still exploring. We do explore with a lot of people, and there's a lot of shows that I mentioned that never make it on air. But there's nothing dramatic that has happened with us at Vera. We've filmed the first batch, we've given it to her, we have some feedback, and let's see, we hope that that potentially might become a TV show. Yeah.
Speaking of babies and families, is Eugene dating maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's complicated.
I'm sorry, I'm sure that was one thing that you didn't really want us to touch on, but...
Yeah, I have an interesting personal life. That's what I'll tell you. Yeah.
And do you think, like, are you not intimidated? Are you scared? Are you usually scared of making friends because you don't know the intentions?
I wouldn't say that I'm scared. I feel like as I've grown older, I know who I am. I know what rooms I enjoy being in. I know which ones I don't enjoy being in. And there's nothing wrong with self-interest. A lot of people want something. It's how life is. There's nothing wrong with people wanting something from you. It's just that I am just very protective of my time, and I know what rooms I want to be in and what rooms I don't want to be in. But I also have nothing against people who come trying to get something from me, because that's all of us. We are all trying to get something from someone, But I will just say I know myself more, and I know what rooms I want to be in and what rooms I don't want to be in. So I'm not too bothered by it, to be honest with you.
Are we expecting an international, art project from you?
Yes, very much so. We are working on a few interesting projects that we are delving as a company, DNR. We are delving into scripted television. So on that front, we are working on a crime mini series that we hope will be out by either end of this year or early next year. We have a bunch of interesting stuff. We are looking to, we've just delved into Tanzania not too long ago. We've met with a bunch of artists there, so we are looking at doing co-productions between Kenya and Tanzania. So we are starting regionally and then going internationally. But it's a very, very exciting time for us. You should expect some regional and international shows within the next 1 to 2 years.
And then, besides shows and you being a producer and all that, you're also a businessman who has the number 7 in Tao. You also have this farming project. Ni gani unaonanga ikiwa a bit ngumu ama inahitaji so much of your time, because you're diverse in your businesses as well. So ni business venture gani yenye ilikuwa ngumu kuanza, na pia it takes a lot of your time and energy?
I actually do spend almost all of my time primarily in this business. Then the other businesses, I give them, a bit of time here and there. But number 7, of course, has probably been the most challenging, in the sense that it's an entirely new world. It's a cash business. You're selling alcohol, so there's always a degree of illegality there. It's also very prone to drastic changes, very heavy competition. So it's just a different world there, but it's also fun. I enjoy owning number 7 with my partners, and now we've just revamped the space. It has double seating capacity. One of the things that we are doing there is I'm trying to make it a nut space. So we have comedy night every Tuesday, and we're having this roast. So this coming Tuesday, we have the roast of Kagwe Mangai and Nviri. We are going to have a live band playing there on different days. So we're just trying to create this very artsy space that people can come and feel good at. So that has been a bit challenging, I'll be honest with you. Also because it's where I lost most of my money in business so far. But all around, for me, it's a huge, beautiful adventure. So I enjoy the game. Yeah. And
your dreadlocks are amazing. They're nice. Ni refu saizi. How long, umezilea for how long saizi?
I started growing out my hair in September of 2009. So that makes it 12 years or so. Yeah.
And it has an interesting story behind it.
So yeah, it's how I started to grow dreadlocks was interesting. I was living with relatives, and around the time I wanted to move out, there was a bit of an altercation. And someone said to me, if you don't shave that hair, because my hair was just uncombed. I just finished high school. So someone said to me, if you don't shave that hair, never come back here. And I took it in stride. There's in old warfare, there's a concept called burning the ships. And how it would work is when soldiers would go to conquer new lands, they will dock their ship on the new land that they have found, and then the generals will burn the ship. And the reason for that was you either go in, fight and win, or you die. There's no retreat. So my dreadlocks were sort of my way of burning the ship, because it meant for me that I either go into the world and win or die, because I'm not coming back. Yeah.
I have a very sensitive question here. So, do you think if you had the normal, quote unquote, normal childhood, things would have turned out this perfectly for you right now?
I don't think things have turned out perfectly, but
as in like amazingly, Basi.
Yeah, we're definitely a product of our environment and our childhood. I imagine if maybe I had a different childhood, things would have probably have been different. I don't discount that at all, because I know a lot of who I am now, and what drives me and how I view things is very, very influenced by my childhood. So I'm pretty sure things would have been different. Maybe I wouldn't be as fun.
For the better or for the worse, maybe.
Who knows? But I don't spend any time thinking about things like that, because you get what you get. Yeah.
Wow. Do you have a regret?
I don't think I have any active regrets. I have some things that, if given the chance, I will do differently. But that's not to say that I regret those things in any way. And there's a lot of things, like there's some business mistakes I've made that I wouldn't do it that way. As you grow older, there's a lot of lessons you get, and if given the benefit of retrospection, I will go back and change a bunch of things. But now that I can't, I don't spend any time thinking about that, so I just generally don't have any major regrets. What I do is I take a lot of responsibility for my actions. Like, I'm very aware of outcomes as a result of what I put in. I don't spend any time thinking about what could have been
What sets Eugene apart? If anyone asked you that question, like I am asking, what sets you apart? What makes you Eugene Mbugua, who's focused and, who's making it big, you're consistent?
I would say the only thing that I know that sets me apart from anybody else is not that I'm any special or any smarter. It's just that what I put in. I keep a very strict regimen. So every morning I'm awake at 3:45 a.m. I work out for an hour, give or take, between 4:50 a.m. and 6 a.m. Then after that, I read for about an hour. Some days I don't read every day now. I'm actually doing very badly on that front right now. And then I work all day, and I put in easily 12, 13-hour work days. Then I'm in bed by 8:30 every single weekday. And so that consistency, I feel like, does really contribute to compound what I'm trying to achieve. Then on the weekends I rest and party, but I would say that is probably the only thing I would say that I know for a fact separates me, because it's what I put in.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert or an ambivert?
I don't know which one I am, to be honest with you. It depends on the situation. Like, I know I work very well when I'm just focused and alone, but I also do enjoy being out with friends and seeing people and socializing. So I'd say I'm different things at different times. Yeah.
What assumption do people have about you?
I don't know. People definitely think I am richer than I am.
What's your rich?
I have some stuff, but I don't know the assumptions. I don't know what really assumptions people have about me. What are they saying?
Sitaki kukusemea.
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know what assumptions people have about me, but I hope they are good.
Yeah. Eugene, can you consider yourself financially disciplined?
I don't know if I'm financially disciplined, but I'm disciplined about making finances. Does that make any sense? Like, I'm very disciplined about work. Okay. But I wouldn't say I'm financially disciplined. I'm not extravagant. I don't like to think I'm wasteful. But I think I'm focused more on the generation than the preservation, so to speak. Although, anybody who's financially savvy will tell you the two go in hand. But I don't know if I'm very responsible financially, to be honest with you.
What's the most useless thing you own?
Oh, I own a bunch of useless things.
Okay.
Like art, for instance. I spend quite a bit of money on art, and one might argue, there's no real value to just art. What else? Actually, no, I don't. I spend a lot of money on experiences. So, trips, parties with my friends, stuff like this. Yeah, but what do they say? It's never wasted unless if you had a good time. Yeah.
What's your net worth, Eugene? I'm sorry, what's your net worth?
I honestly don't know either. I mean, I work hard. There's the value that you can see in the business and all this stuff, but I generally don't know what my net worth is.
What's the most amount of money umeshika hivi at once? From a single gig or a single project, mara moja?
The projects of the company vary from a few 100,000 shillings to double-digit millions. But unajua si pesa yangu ati nimeka kwa mfuko. It's because I run a business. So yeah, we do handle quite some big projects and some small ones as well. Yeah, so there's hakuna pesa mimi nimeshika mingi yenye naweza kuambia because a lot of my worth is tied in my business.
Alafu umesema you had an interesting childhood. Do you think wasi wameanza kukuja like, hey Eugene, now you have money, you know we are family, you know I am your sister, I am your cousin. Do you have those weird cousins from?
Not necessarily. I would say my relationship with people is pretty cordial. I wouldn't say there's anything that is that I'm uncomfortable with.
No, as in, do they come at you like, because now you have money, you have to help us, you know those?
Black tax is a thing. I grew up from a system that I benefited from a system of people coming together to help, and so I feel like I also do my part in terms of just sending the ladder back down, not just with family but also with like friends, with people. I try to assist where I can because I was also assisted.
Yeah. Do you have a bad experience during your projects?
How do you mean?
Bad experience in that when you're executing it, ulikuwa at your lowest, the experience was just the hardest. The hardest projects but you've worked on, and why was it the hardest?
There's projects that are not necessarily hard, but they don't turn out to be what you thought they were. And I have many of those. There's many things I've started, and then just once you finish, you're like, okay, that wasn't very clever, or it wasn't as genius as you thought it was. So there's many of those, and it's usually and those just die, So our computers are full of stuff that just never saw the light of day, either because the time wasn't right, they weren't very good. So I'd say that's probably, but even then it's still not difficult because it's part of the process. Yeah.
And you're working on something like Juma Jokes, Diamond in TZ. How did that come to be, and what exactly is it?
So we were really ambitious, and we're trying to break into other markets as well. So we spent some time last year just going into the Tanzanian market, meeting with different artists from Diamond, Juma Jukes, Mimi Mars, Irene Paul, Irene Warrior, just a whole wide array of different artists. And the idea is to try and do co-productions between Kenya and Tanzania. So we'll be doing a reality show with one of the stars there. We're also doing a scripted crime series that's going to be shot between Kenya and Tanzania. So we are very, very eager to see that come alive. Yeah.
Of course, ukianza hii career yako ama these projects, you had that one big dream, that major dream. Unaona kama sisi interviewers, as we're doing our work, kuna yule mtu mmoja anasemanga wale niki-interview I'm good. So is that umefikia your dream yako, and what was it? Ama ni gani saizi umeachieve yenye ulikuwa unasema ukianza this one looks impossible but saizi now it's possible?
I think at the time I just really wanted a bed and a nice house, and I achieved that pretty quickly. I also really wanted a show on TV, which I also was able to achieve. I think now it's almost 15 shows. Now what is a big dream? My dream now is a bit different. It's not tied to an event, it's tied to a system. Because we'd like to build a system that's almost like Disney. How I envision it, it's a conglomerate up here, and you have arms to it. So you have a television arm, you have a film arm, you have a music arm, you have a merchandising arm. And because Africa is really lacking in systems, you really have to. Most artists are not business people. They want to come and belong to a system that generates revenue for them, so they can continue making great art. And so I really dream of building this system. So ideally it will be this conglomerate, which we're calling Africa's Disney, but for the purposes of this conversation, DNR Studios. And then we'll have all those arms: television, film, music, merchandising, experiences. So in experiences there you have your nightclubs, you have your parks. So that ideally would be the big dream for me right now. And I hope I'll be able to achieve this in my lifetime.
What's your opinion on film in Kenya, the film industry?
So there, the film which encompasses TV as well. So film and television. It's an exciting time. I mean, last year was quite a ripe time for me, for film particularly. There was a bunch of new movies that came out. You're seeing new ways of marketing films. I mean, look at what Belmutu and Philip Productions and Philip at Philip Productions are doing with their movies. Ruben Odanga had a great film out last year. It's a very exciting time for the film industry. TV as well is growing quite tremendously. You have entrants, the local channels that NTV, KTN that do quite a bit to support the local industry. But then you have Maisha Magic and Showmax, and the guys there are doing amazing work in terms of just giving opportunities to Kenyan TV and film to grow. It's an exciting time. It's also a conflicting time because our cake is being eaten by digital terribly. You have guys who come up online and they're shooting stuff on their phone, and it's equally as competitive. So it's an interesting time. It's both an exciting and interesting time. There's a lot that's going to be changing in the next few years.
Yeah. Have you missed opportunities because of your dreadlocks, by the way? Tunajua kulikuwa na carrot fulani pale because of the dreadlock family. As in watu walikuwa you remember those kids who were killed because they were mistaken, they miss whatever.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I've missed any opportunities because of my dreadlocks, to be honest with you. The thing about dreadlocks is as they grow longer, they're neater.
Oh, okay.
And just the way I wear my hair usually is not too out there. But I wouldn't say that's the reason. If you meet me, it just takes talking to me for a few minutes to forget about my hair, I would say. So I have gotten looks. But I wouldn't say any room that I go into, I feel like I do a good enough job of getting your mind off my hair. I mean, it's not my most outstanding feature. So yeah, I can't say that I have, not that I know of at least, that I have missed any opportunities because of my dreadlocks. But as I mentioned, I also do a lot of work. My hair is not my most outstanding feature in any way. Yeah.
Do you still get nose?
Do I still get?
Nose.
Oh yes. Every day. Every day. I get nose every day. And that's the thing, it's to come back from the nose with the same enthusiasm, because out of 50 no's easily, that's when you get a yes. So I feel like I just do my work of getting very many no's very quickly. So I'm just constantly coming back to you with no's. So sometimes maybe I just tire people until they say yes, or you keep trying until you find the right one.
Yeah. What's your proudest moment?
Every time there's a new show that comes out on air, that first time, it's always a very, very proud moment for me. And then also, we've had milestones at the business. We recently just took in investment, and we now have a beautiful board. Our board members, when they came on board, that was very, very proud moment for me, because we have a great board. It's Carol Ndongo, Anne Gitao, we have Dr. Sam Danya and Stephen Gugu, and these guys have immense wealth in their fields. And so that was a very proud moment to be able to have them believe enough in my dream to jump on board, to jump on the ship. Yeah.
What's your best movie you watch? Not Zako, of course.
Because I was going to say one of mine.
I know.
The best movie, I have several beautiful films. I love The Great Gatsby, Catch Me If You Can, Shawshank Redemption, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So yeah, some of those films I love.
You series gani una watch at the moment? You series gani una watch at the moment?
I know I'm usually watching a season of The Office at one time or another. What am I actually watching? I'm not too sure. Series. I don't know.
Your favorite Kenyan show? Kenyan produced show? I see, of course. Once again, sir, not yours.
I feel like Crime and Justice has really pushed the envelope further. It's contributed a lot to our industry. So I'd say Crime and Justice sits up there. I love Selena, but Ruben Odanga does some fantastic work on that front. What other show can come to my mind? There's shows like Lit 360 and The Trend that also do quite decently in terms of the market that they serve. Yeah.
Okay, if you were to die right now, God forbid, what will be your one greatest wish?
That my dogs are taken care of.
Aya, so now let's get into the Valentine edition. Yes. So, we're in the month of love. February lingia, city yote it's Valentine's anyway, it's the Valentine season. So, Eugene, you've already told us it's complicated, so tutaenda hapo tena. So, okay, what's Valentine's to you?
I'm a bit indifferent to the that's some of my team members. I'm a bit indifferent to the whole day itself, but as I've grown older, I've come to have an appreciation for, what these occasions mean. So where else Valentine's doesn't have necessarily any deep meaning to me. I'm appreciative of what it represents. You know, it's this time to elaborately celebrate love and affection, and I'm indifferent to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your worst Valentine experience? Ile time ulikuwa na date.
I don't think I've had any. It's like if I'm dating someone and they're into Valentine's, I will be into Valentine's as well. If they're not, I won't be either. So I can't say I've really had any bad Valentine's experience. Yeah.
The best gift you've received?
No, some years back I got a nice watch for Valentine's, so that was nice. Yeah, but this was way back, maybe 2014 or thereabouts. No, way back than that. It was maybe 2010.
From someone you were dating?
Yeah. That was nice. It was a nice watch.
Yeah. The most expensive gift you've gifted somebody?
Oh, if I say this, all of you will judge me very badly. It will tie back to that question about me being financially responsible.
No, it's okay.
I don't think I can say this, but I gift. I'm happy to gift. Like I do gift quite well.
Don't.
Siwezi kwambia hapo utakuwa it's too damning, that information.
No, it's okay.
No.
Okay, so the best gift umepeana basi. Not the most expensive, the best gift and you ulipeana like, yeah.
The best gifts that I give usually are thoughtful ones. If it's information I've taken from an experience of something you told me that's special, and you know it's a gift that has taken my hands. You know, it's taken active effort on my part. You know, jewelry also always works quite well. So yeah, I would say some of the best gifts I've given are thoughtful ones that were particularly targeted at that person, not necessarily because they were expensive or anything.
The most you spent on a date?
Oh, a lot. I have flown people to places abroad and stuff. Yeah, I can be quite reckless.
Which is allowed anyway.
It is.
Sometimes.
It is. I spend quite a lot of money on the people I care for, because that's why you work. You know, it's to be able to buy experiences and to be able to share moments with people you care for.
The best destination you've been to?
I have a few. I always, before the pandemic, I used to go to Europe twice every year. So I love the south of France, Cannes. Cannes and Nice, you know, the whole French Riviera is quite beautiful. I really enjoyed very, very much New York. Every time I go there, I feel like it's very refreshing for me. Paris was also interesting because, you know, city of love and all that stuff. Lots of culture and things to take in. So, but I would say the south of France, the French Riviera, and New York.
The worst thing a lady has done to you when you're on a date? The worst experience you've had then? Yeah.
What's the worst experience I've had while dating? I actually don't know. I don't keep track of these things. But overall, I feel like I've had very good experiences. I don't think anybody has ever particularly been cruel to me. Yeah.
And the worst thing a fan has done to you, not worst, weird, cringy, as in a cross boundary.
My DM is full of weird stuff.
Like?
I won't get into it, but there's pictures, there's... people are constantly just crossing the line with stuff they send. But you know, so long as you don't react to it, it doesn't matter. But other than that, I feel like people are just generally, because you know I'm also not a celebrity, so people are just generally respectful with me, and they usually just want to talk about business. So it's also just a pleasant experience all around. But my DM has some weird stuff.
And how do you choose who to invest in? Have you invested in people before? Not
actively, no. So most of my investments right now is tied to my own businesses. Because you know, my businesses are pretty young, so we will use all the capital that we get. I do, however, I've partnered with people on different things, but I wouldn't say I invest in people quite yet.
Oh, my darling, give a Valentine kwanza. Valentine, some wishes of love to your fans and family.
Well, I wish everybody happiness and love, and I hope that the people you love you back.
That's a good one. Nairobi. That's a good one. Aya, so parting shot, parting shot. Of course, advise the young people out here, especially those who want to venture into business, because they're definitely looking up to you.
My advice is always the same when it comes to business. It's start where you are. Start now where you are with what you have. Start now where you are with what you have. Yeah. That's the same one. Start now where you are with what you have. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Thank you for Jesus, Mimi, you're humble, my God. If I was you, okay, sitakuwa na kiburi lakini aya sawa. So guys, that has been our time for today with the amazing award-winning Eugene Mbugua. And if you want to get in touch with him, go to all his social media handles. I think they're Eugene Mbugua kila mali.
Eugene Mbugua on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook.
And LinkedIn.
I'm not very big on LinkedIn, but uko pia Eugene Mbugua.
If you want to get him, guys, please, the conversation does not end here. Unaweza tuambia kwa comment section what you think about Eugene, what you love most about him. Na pia unaweza DM, not the weird DMs of course. The beautiful DMs, the congratulations DMs. And thank you so much to my videographer Saidi Abdallah. I'm your girl Makena. Until next time, God bless.